Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Still hanging at Mom's, so that's why the different location. Today's topic is going to be gaining trust, and I'll explain that in a minute. Take a couple of nice relaxing breaths. Breathe out the stress. Breathe in the calm. Exhale the chaos. Breathe in the clarity and exhale the doubt. Make sure to let your body relax so that you can comfortably breathe. So today I want to talk about gaining trust. And what do I mean? Gaining the trust of your subconscious brain. Our pains and our symptoms are not under our conscious control. That's why trying to control our symptoms or pains is so infuriating, because we can't. It's not possible. What we can do is influence it by convincing the subconscious brain to trust the core message of TMS and perceived danger pain, which is that your body's okay. So we're trying to convince and gain the trust of this fearful, cautious, protective subconscious brain and get it to trust these consistent messages of safety, right? So, back to square one. The brain's job is to keep you safe, keep you alive. Symptoms and pains are the brain's warning system when it perceives danger. That's about as simple as I can make it. That's why you hurt. That's why you have symptoms. Because your brain is perceiving some type of danger somewhere. Right? Might be physical, structural, perceived danger. Could be life stress, financial stress, relationship challenges, emotions, thoughts, the expectation that you're going to hurt if you do X, Y, and Z. Any type of perceived danger can turn on the symptoms. It is our job, it is our responsibility to teach the brain that we are safe and to gain the trust of the subconscious brain. So we don't do that by constantly freaking out and being terrified and responding as if something horrible is going on. If you were to try to say, to anybody else, trust me, and then keep on punching them in the face, I'll keep you safe, trust me. They're never going to trust you, right? Freaking out is screaming at the brain, whatever you do, don't calm down. Oh my God, horrible things are happening. And then we say, how come the brain won't turn off the pain? I know about TMS because your brain hasn't gained trust in the overall message, which is your body's okay. There's nothing wrong. You're fine. It's not going to trust you as long as you are sending messages of danger or responding to your symptoms as if they are dangerous. Right? I talk about this stuff all the time. And it's really important to get very clear with yourself. The core message that Dr. Sarno originally had was, go live your life, there's nothing wrong. Now that's hard to do if you're still terrified that your body's a problem. And if you've experienced trying to go live your life and you go out and you do some activity, movement, whatever, and your pain flares, that's a really hard thing to convince your brain. Because it's even consciously, you're saying, this is ridiculous. Dan's telling me to go live my life because there's nothing wrong. Okay, last time I tried that, and the last 16 times I tried it, I paid for it. My pain flared up for days. Could barely move. So it's more of a gradual thing. We have to shift the mindset first. We have to get super clear that the reason for the pain, and the only reason for the pain, is your brain perceiving danger. But it is a perceived danger, because if you've done the assessments and it indicates that your pain or symptoms are behaving like TMS, then you've got the clarity you need. I'm going to encourage you to make a decision and stick with it that says, everything that's going on with me is TMS, and I'm okay. Because from that platform, from that foundation of understanding and acceptance that this is what's going on for me, that's where you can start to dial down the fear. And as you dial down the fear, you'll be able to respond in a much more calm, relaxed manner to the symptoms, even if they spike a little bit. So we're really trying to gain the trust of a misinformed, scared brain that because it's scared and operating on bad data and fear, it's going to overprotect you by keeping the symptoms going and the pains going. That's all that's happening. So we utilize the accurate data to dial down the fear. We inform the brain correctly that we're actually okay. And here's the key. It needs to be consistent, right? It must be consistent. You're trying to get the subconscious brain to believe that you're actually okay. But if 3 days out of the week you're in an absolute freak out and you're not acting as if you're okay, then the brain's going to go, 4 days a week you're telling me you're safe and you're okay and there's nothing wrong with your body, but yet 3 days a week, what the heck's going on? You're in an absolute panic. And since my job as the brain is to keep you safe, I've got to listen to the freak out. So, clarity, what's going on, perceived danger, pain, perceived danger, symptoms, clarity that that's what's going on for you. And then it's just a matter of consistent, calm, confidence, clarity, consistent messages of safety. Do your best to freak out less and less over time. And if you start to freak out, it's usually brought on by catastrophic thinking. Oh no, what if it's not TMS? It hurts too bad. How could this possibly be created by the brain? It can be, and it is. Right? Dr. Sarni used to say, the pain that is possible when created by the brain far exceeds most every other medical experience that we have encountered. I think the exceptions were childbirth and maybe kidney stones. That rates up there with the TMS stuff. But there's nothing in medical science that should hurt us as bad as a brain that is terrified and is warning and screaming louder as we become more and more terrified. The intensity of the pain will correlate with the intensity of your fear and panic and freak out. And think back to times when things were okay. Notice, where was your mindset? Where were your fear levels? Usually pretty low. Sometimes it happens on holidays. Sometimes it happens when you're actually hanging out with some friends. Think about the times when your symptoms were most significant. What was your level of fear and freak out? Probably very, very high. Look for that correlation, because it's not a coincidence. And if you notice that your symptoms are starting to creep up, you got two choices. You can either go, I'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Hey, brain, psst, cut it out. We're good. And in that case, your little bit of an uptick in symptoms or pains will be more short-lived and not as intense. But if your symptoms start getting a little bit increased and worse, and you absolutely lose it and freak out, don't be surprised when the symptoms keep on climbing until you're saying, I can't believe how much I'm hurting. The freak out's your enemy. The freak out is just convincing the brain that there's more danger. And what does the brain do when it perceives danger? It turns up the volume. So how do we gain trust? Clarity, acceptance, accurate knowledge. Feed the brain better data so it can make a better decision. And for Pete's sake, do your best to remain calm consistently so that your brain can gain the trust, because you're not freaking out 1 minute and calm the next, and freak out, calm. Your brain will trust the freak out. It is that simple to understand, and it is your job. It is your responsibility to teach your subconscious brain, whose job it is to keep you safe, that you're actually okay, by consistently acting and behaving and thinking as if you truly are okay. And if you don't believe that, you got to go back to square one, which is the foundational knowledge of what is going on, what TMS is, what perceived danger pain is. Do the assessments, get rock solid, get off the fence, so that anytime your symptoms start taking a tick upward, you can remain calm. I hope that makes sense. Really hope that makes sense. The assessments and the foundational knowledge videos are at my website, painfreeyou.com/start. Go there, watch the first 2 videos, do the assessments. And if you've got like one sticky symptom that's kind of hanging on, but I don't know why that one's not letting go, some other stuff got better, take the pain test for each symptom and do it individually. Take it multiple times and see what the answer is for each symptom. Because some people say, well, yeah, everything else is TMS, but I don't know about this one thing. And for whatever reason, I can't get rid of this one thing. Yeah, because you've got doubt for that one thing. The other stuff you were very well convinced. The brain bought the message there. But the doubt kept the perceived danger going for that one thing that's kind of sticky and hasn't let up yet. So do the assessments, get really clear, and then make a decision to accept it and not to waver. Don't let the symptom intensity scare you, freak you, or cause you to waver on your clarity. Consistency is really the name of the game if, in fact, you want your subconscious brain to trust the message that you're okay. Once it does, it'll start to dial things down. So, hope that makes sense. Love you guys and gals, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.